at the FC London podcast, and we are here with
Will Cromack,
who is the.
head coach of the senior women's teams.
So here we are on Monday after the team beat Richmond Hill 5-1 last Thursday. So Will, after that game, how did you feel the team?
Yeah, I mean, what I'm going to say is I felt the club stood up. You know, at this stage of Ontario Premier League, you're dealing with top academy players. You're dealing with a few senior players that are back from university or local. So I felt the club stood up really well. We put together a group that we thought could compete. And with some, U17 girls in there who did fantastically well. And so I'm really proud of that group. And because we told them at the end of the day, the first month for sure is going to be, for better or worse, makeshift in some ways, but all along with our principles of how we want to play throughout the year.
Other than the win, is there something like remarkable that you remember from the game?
Yeah, I wouldn't say remarkable. Remarkable is a pretty strong word. What I would say is I felt that our youngest players were not awed by the moment. We had a center half in there who's U17 starter. Excellent shift by her, surrounded by some leadership. I also felt that those that came on in the at the end of the game for their first experience ever at this level should be really proud of themselves.
And just like we won and everything. I think it would be kind of hard for you to like say it. Is there something like that you would like to improve or something that you were not satisfied with in the game?
Well, I mean, I think when you play football, you've seen a few of these games where you haven't scored when you should. And if you leave teams hanging around too long, and I thought there was a chance that could happen after we had a pretty strong first 20 minutes where we probably should have scored arguably 3 or 4 goals and didn't. But the girls came through and they scored one early, scored another one early in the second half. Those are moments in the game that I think I'm happiest with. And then in the long run, it's really about building relationships with each other so they understand what each other does.
What did you tell your players before the game? Because that was a demolishing victory, 5-1. What did you tell them to motivate them?
Well, I mean, and again, let's be respectful of Richmond Hill. It's their first time in Ontario Premier League. Probably, I don't know this factually, but probably a large group of their under 20s. Couple of women in there maybe had some senior experience. So I think it was incumbent upon us as a senior club in the league to go out with at least some confidence to go after the game at our home after someone has traveled, a couple hours by bus, maybe cars, had to come out freezing cold. So what we said was like make this a statement that you can build off of for when others come to your home pitch. And I think that's what they did, which was excellent.
Just thinking about the future and about the next game, what are you planning right now?
Well, I mean, different animal now. We're going to play one of sort of premier clubs in maybe all of Canada. Woodbridge has been around the block. They've done everything. They've had players go pro. They've had youth teams win nationals. So we expect to be pushed. But, like us, they're dealing with where are our players? Are they at NCAA? Are they back? Are they fit? So I think we'll go out again, though, saying, it's our home. And you've got to beat us on our home. We're not going to be scared or petrified that you happen to be a big dog.
After the first win that you got, we're setting high expectation after the win for the team. I remember something you told me is that you want to be a difficult team to play against.
Yes.
Do you think you're in the right path?
I think we're on the right path, and I think the girls are aware. It is common around the world when you're not in the if you're in Australia, if you're not in Sydney, you're an underdog. If you go to Sydney, if you're not in New York,
Yes.
for instance, you might be the underdog. I think London has to own that. Has historically owned that concept, and girls and guys don't necessarily always want to come to London from the big smoke and play on our clubs, but people do.
Okay.
And they come here, and they come from all over. We've got girls from Newfoundland, we've got girls from the States, we've got girls from the West, and obviously a load of girls from London. But I think they all embrace the idea that it's nice to go out and be difficult against some of these premier clubs.
I don't know if I'm gonna put you in a weird spot with the next question, but I want you to be risky with your answer. What is the difference of FC London with the rest of the teams in the OPL?
I think there's an element of that. Like, we're still, big enough that we've done stuff historically.
Yep.
Like, the women have won this league before, and while at the same time maintaining that underdog mentality.
Yes.
So, listen, I'm not going to say this is year on year, but it's not a great place to come if you're coming from the other side of Toronto, or you're coming from the GTA. It's a night trip.
Yeah.
It can be ugly, it can be cold, it can be all of the above. But I will say that we will embrace that.
Okay. And just maybe the last question, and just expectation, or what's your goal for the season?
Yeah, well, I'm an old guy, so I don't look too far ahead.
Maybe big goal, like like this confidence in you, like this very first victory, you're putting some confidence.
Yeah, but a win is a win is a win, and the same as a loss. Every day is about getting players better. I mean, really, like I won't lie to you, like I've said this on national TV, but my wins come from watching players who admit to me that they've improved from minute one to minute end. And if we have enough of those, and my hope is always all of them,
yes.
But that might not be the case. But if we have enough of those as a high percentage, I guarantee you there will be wins. I guarantee you there will be wins if people are getting better.
That's right. Just one thing that I just thought about. Is there something or someone, like some specific player maybe, that surprised you during this first game?
I think I was most happy with the youngest players simply playing.
Okay.
Not being scared of the moment. Because that can happen, right? It's very easy. I had high expectations for some of the elder players, some senior girls in this environment, and but I think they would say the same. Is like, you never know what's going to show up when a 16, 17-year-old shows up for the first time.
That's right.
So I think everybody would say, like, it was nice to see that we could rely on these girls, and they were contributing members of that game, not just sort of sitting on the pitch.
And just last question on that, now finally.
This is the last question
this
for
is
the last time.
Yeah, this is the very...
Better edit this, everybody.
No,
this is the last
this
question.
Is the very last question. Just one word to describe that last game.
Professional.
That was perfect. Thank you so much for your time, Will. That was great.
Anytime, brother. Anytime.
Great.